Nourish with thy warmth the frames of men, go make thy circuit, and thus minister unto all from the greatest to the least. Thou canst lead a host against Troy, be Agamemnon. Thou canst meet Hector in single combat, be Achilles. But had Thersites stepped forward and claimed the chief command, he had been met with a refusal, or obtained it only to his own shame and confusion of face before a cloud of witnesses. Others may fence themselves with walls and houses when they do such deeds as these and wrap themselves in darkness. They have many a device to hide themselves. Another may shut his door and station one before his chamber to say, if any comes, he has gone forth, he is not at leisure. But the true cynic will have none of these things. Instead, then he must wrap himself up in modesty, else he will bring about himself to shame and naked under the open sky. That is his house, that is his door, that is the slave that guards his chamber, that is his darkness. Death? Let it come when it will, but whether it smite but a part or the whole fly, you tell me fly. But whither shall I fly? Can any man cast me beyond the limits of the world? It may not be, and whithersoever I go, there shall I still find sun, moon, and stars. There shall I find dreams and omens and converse with the gods.
And they're not trivial domains. I mean, they're domains that matter a lot because they're quintessential in a lot of different domains of the economy, like engineering, computation, robotics, like tech, basically, finance. AI is under tech as well, like all that kind of shit. So, but then you also have like manual labor stuff too. And some of that is actually technical and requires the talent from other places. Some of it is just cheap labor that we can get from elsewhere, like farming jobs and things like that. So it's a mix because you're talking about a lot of different parts of the economy. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and I think ideally what we want is a system where the Americans that can be trained to do these jobs and fill these jobs do so, and then we augment where it's really necessary. But I think I saw a post, being anti-H-1B recently, where like a university in Michigan was seeking an H-1B or an H-3B, I'm not sure exactly, but they were seeking a foreign staffing position for a women's soccer coach or something, and arguing that there are no possible female soccer coaches in America capable of filling this role, and they had to get an international soccer coach to fill this role.
I mean, the H-1Bs, like, knowing at first hand, they have pretty high criteria. Like, in order to hit it, you have to have extensive proof that you actually qualify. I mean, overshadow most of the candidates from the country.
I think by the letter of the law you do, but I think there's an entire cottage industry of lawyers that get companies H-1B waivers. That is their entire business, is getting companies staffed with these waivers. And whenever you commoditize something like that, you get people who are very good at meeting those criteria in lots of situations and in lots of creative ways that the law necessarily didn't intend.
I would agree with that. I mean, there's definitely corruption, and there's definitely some funny stuff going on with some of those. I mean, I don't want to make change the topic drastically, so you guys want to keep talking about that. I just wanted to explore something, because Manuel, you said you kind of juxtapose globalists and isolationists, but I think they're in two completely different dimensions of just different magistrates they just don't compare. It's like comparing like cold to hard, because to me globalism has more to do with the economy, and so the opposite of it would be like some sort of mercantile approach. And because globalists can be isolationists, and at the same time, like with isolationism is more interventionalist, so it's more like a political stance more so than economic. Would you agree?
Well, I think we might be conflating economic protectionism with military intervention as two kinds of the same coin. Our economy, the military, and our defense industry, they're very interlinked, and it is seen. You are hitting over the head with economic arguments when you talk about drawing down or reducing our military sphere of influence around the world, or our control over certain bodies of water, like the Strait of Hormuz or other things. And our national like immigration policy is not really seen as like an extension of our military or a national defense program. It's seen as pure economic benefit. So you're also hit with an economic argument from that, but there's no like separate. Someone's either filling the job and they're either a citizen or they're not, right? They either have legal status through a waiver or a visa, or they don't. And those policies, it doesn't make you isolationist or globalist necessarily to be dealing with critical staffing. I don't think that meets that threshold. It is more of a military intervention around the world, or diplomatic bribery around the world. I mean aid that we deliver to other countries for some, intangible theoretical benefit that we get at home. And I don't think the deliverables on, our global aid packages, even setting the military aside, right, in any way justify the amount of crap, for example, that we found with USAID. And the blind defense of USAID specifically is one, shocking, and two, exactly the issue we have with a misappropriation of resources or a platform that's not America first. Because you can say all you want, but when you're in the back of in the executive office building and you're signing these ridiculous trans drag shows for Zimbabwe, funding grants.
No, I mean, I get it. I get like you gripe with the previous administration. What I'm trying to be more kind of nuanced about is that isolationism and globalism are not the two opposites of each other. They're not antonyms to each other. Because a country can be globalist and isolationist at the same time. Like, I would try to think of a good example. I think, like Switzerland.
Global on trade, but isolation on military intervention.
On politics. It's not just military, but just political involvement into world affairs. Like, you take any of those, like maybe like Taiwan or Singapore, or what would be like other hubs that are very open trade, very, very like low tariffs and stuff. But at the same time, they want to have nothing to do with global affairs. They are present there as little as possible. But what I would, the way I would describe the current administration is that it is mercantile in terms of its economic policies, and it's interventionalist, actually. So it's the opposite of isolationism, and at the same time, it's the opposite of globalism. So they have focused on trade. They impose all of those tariffs across the board, but at the same time they're more than willing to get involved and engaged in public affairs. And I think one of the disappointments within like the MAGA ranks was that there was a false juxtaposition of globalism to isolationism, and that is why people within the MAGA movement have questioned Trump and have gripes with Trump, because they didn't completely like understand that those two terms, they are on completely two different planes. They have to do with completely different type of activity. Or like another interesting example is like China. I'm just like trying to think about other like interesting combinations. So they're very mercantile in terms of their economic policies, but at the same time they're interventionist. Also, like they're very involved. Like that's very similar to what the United States is doing currently. So it's the same thing, like, the government supports the internal industry. It's very focused on making sure that its own infrastructure is very strong.
What China has that we don't is, if a Chinese corporation is doing something in its own interest that harms China in some way, the Chinese government snaps their fingers and it stops, because they have control over that. We do not have that kind of control. And we are at the mercy of corporations' good sense or goodwill towards the United States and body if they want to do something to harm it. And when we set fines super low and we bail them out, or give super light sentences, or barely give a fine to them doing things like creating an opioid epidemic, for example. Right? We continue to invite corporate parasitism, and so if we're incentivizing our own corporations to offshore what they can and avoid taxes here that they can, but still utilize our military and the rest of our resources to defend their assets around the world, right? Then we're
I'm not
we're
arguing
paying our
for
protection
that.
money to the federal government, and for them to run and provide those services to other people is insane.
No, I think everybody on both sides of the aisle agree something like this is not very productive to allow like a global corporation to drain resources from the United States in terms of its legal shield and maybe using its military to shield its financial interests, but at the same time not paying back with taxes, or like trying to avoid any kind of financial responsibility, giving back to it to support the very infrastructure that defends them, and just kind of jumping around looking for the best deal and whoever is going to protect them. But that's not what I'm saying would be better. I'm just trying to differentiate between the two different planes. One is more politically oriented, more military oriented, and the other one is more economically oriented. Because honestly, I think the combination of being mercantilist, that's how you pronounce it, and being interventionalist, I mean, that's not a bad combination. or globalist and isolationist. You know,
representing ourselves.
but that's more for smaller countries that can afford being some sort of haven for business without spending anything to impose its power outside of its borders.
I do appreciate some of the efforts to get more Americans to participate in kind of a dividend level of our exploits around the world, or the tariffs that we're able to charge, doing some kind of return on your tax investment to average everyday people. I mean, maybe it should go to people 18 years and older. Maybe it should go to people, that a certain.
Whatever happened to the freedom dividend?
Well, yes, it's like that basically, but that was to be funded with tariff revenue, right? It'll be $2,500 a person.
No, I think oh yeah, I think that was when the Andrew Yang said something.
Oh yeah, well Yang had UBI.
Yeah, but he called it the freedom dividend.
Oh, $1,000
And
per
was-
month? Is it?
There's been something.
Yeah, it was
there's been something
it was
floated.
1,000 a month.
Well, that was the UBI.
Yeah. But he called it the freedom dividend. Trump wanted to give, what did Trump, the savings from Doge was going to give people money, what did he call those?
Well, there's supposed to be a Trump account. They were supposed to seed a 401k or a
No, Trump
seed a college
Trump accounts are
savings.
different. I'm talking about, everybody was supposed to get checks because of the money Doge saved people.
Was it temporary, Jason, or like in perpetuity?
No, it was temporary. It was like one time.
So it was like a stimulus check or something, essentially.
I mean, yeah, but it wasn't funded through like appropriations through Congress. It was funded through whatever money Doge was supposed to save us.
That's one fault.
Right, yeah, that's supposed to siphon off Doge savings, save 20% of Doge savings and put them into
But
checks.
he gave him some kind of like patriotic name. I forgot what they called it. But that never came to fruition. So, like a bunch of Republicans wasn't feeling that. So they threw that out the window. And I think what he was able to accomplish was the Trump accounts, and then the checks to the veterans, the 1775. Remember those?
Or was it like a citizens' wealth stimulus or something like that?
Well, the 1775 that was supposed to go to veterans, I don't even know if that actually happened, but that went further than the other thing for everybody.
The Doge checks never materialized because you're supposed to get like $5,000, and I think it was like something with a distribution amount of like $44 billion, and it never passed through Congress, so the payments can't be authorized by the president solely. But there's a carve out with that, is that the savings magically never materialized in Congress, mainly because of the fighting that occurred where Trump could only basically scrap money back under his election, or his executive powers, and Doge couldn't, in effect, basically go after full funding programs. But Congress was never going to approve them any damn way. Either side was never going to allow those to be matriculated out.
Did he give the 1775 checks to the veterans?
No, I did not get a 1775 check. But don't think those ever materialized either. And then there's the tariff dividend that is supposed to be going out that also, again, is not going to pass. It was supposed to be like I think in 2000, but that has not resulted either. And again, Trump, this is where Trump pisses me off. He says these things, but you have to get Congress to approve it. And if you can't, well, then it's a dead issue because you only have power over the executive branch and you can't return that funding to the American people. You can't write checks from any money you claw back out of it.
Okay. I remember talking about it. I don't remember if he ever did. That's what I was trying to clarify.
Yeah, you couldn't even give the 1775 checks out either. So, I mean,
but well, he did do Trump accounts. I know those are live.
The Trump accounts are live. He did that through, and it's actually a good investment. Like every economist is talking about, like it's free money. Well, it's not free, but it's a good investment tool. You should look into it.
Well, whenever I have one of these MAGA rooms, and I invite the MAGA crowd to account for their buddy Trump, I'm gonna ask them about all them promises that he never kept. Oh man.
I'm sure, like they should say it. I mean, it's not hard to say. Like, you know, Trump overstepped his bounds and issued rhetoric, and he wrote, quote, he wrote checks his ass couldn't cash. You know, so it's basically the gist of it. But I mean, it's not as like, well, Trump just never sent out because he's an evil, you know, Dark Lord of Star Wars. He literally would not be able to do it anyway.
Like he's just politically incompetent.
I mean, you know.
Wait, did he successfully do the no tax on tips? Did that pass?
It's in the.
Yep.
That's done.
Well, he delivered on some stuff, I guess, but.
Yeah. And no tax on overtime. Although, what's weird is some states are holding out against that. So it wasn't adopted by every state. I forget I know that they were primarily Democrat states that were holding out against doing that. So, you know, that the states have to adopt that. So that's kind of I would say it's a win for Trump because he put it on the table. And if people are going, well, I still get taxed on my tips, or, you know, I get taxed on overtime, well, and your bonuses, well, you're going to have to speak to your state reps because they need to adopt them.
Oh yeah, that's right. Democrats undermine that in certain states. I remember that.
Just so you're aware, though, you have to make $37,500 in overtime in order to fully take advantage as a single filer. Which, you know, if you're a cop, you're a firefighter, mechanic, that's easy.
I don't know, there's plenty of jobs. You go right now, go out into like the oil fields, go work the energy corridors, you're making that kind of money.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it's easy to work a bunch of extra hours in the oil field the way it's easy to work a bunch of extra hours in the fire service or as a cop. I'm pulling my car up on a construction site, open up the laptop for Netflix, and I'm making overtime.
Honestly, though, I have some issues with how cops and firefighters, first responders get overtime and how they can max out on it. I mean, I'm just saying our service people never got overtime, and I kind of feel a certain type of way about it at times. When I hear that, you know, cops are doing TikTok dances, and I'm looking at the overtime budget for that, and I'm like, why are you on fucking TikTok then?
TikTok dancing doctors.
The cops. Look up TikTok dancing cops.
Oh, the cop. I thought you were talking about the nurses and stuff that COVID.
Oh no, I was talking about like cops and first responders that do like Instagram and TikTok dances. I don't know what happened, but usually on my like Instagram feed, it's usually like very specific to what I like. Usually nature, outdoors, some interior and exterior design builds, things like that. But occasionally what'll pop up and it'll be like a cop holding his video up doing a dance and and all this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I wonder how many takes it took you. That was probably about an hour and a half worth of work. Yeah, and we just paid for that 1 hour of you. Probably were on overtime.
How do you know they were on duty?
They have their car, they have their full uniform on.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're on duty, but there are departments jumping on the trend, like making videos for their department too. So it's kind of a mix.
Well, like, if you have like a community outreach where officers are like out in the community playing basketball, are they on duty? Are they getting paid for those hours?
Yeah, usually.
What's the difference between like a community outreach thing and TikTok? Like,
When it comes to the county or the city, like CFO or accountant, probably nothing.
No, but maybe the impact, like, because what is the TikTok for? Is this for personal gain or?
I don't know, but I can see it framed as like a community outreach thing.
There's usually policy on utilizing personal social media while on. So they would have.
I'm talking about when the departments approve of it and they're like in on it. To me, I can see that as like a community outreach or like a social, you know what I mean? Like they do care about like social relations or whatever, media relations.
I'm old school too. I don't believe
police bread.
I don't believe soldiers, sailors should actually be, TikTok themselves on bases doing stupid shit too. So while they're on duty, and there's rules against it, but nonetheless, it still happens. You still have dumb people doing it.
I mean, I just feel like that's unrealistic. We have young generations of soldiers. Those motherfuckers are on the internet. So I don't know. Good luck with that.
Yeah, man, I'd say it's honestly worse. The people constantly filming their life on base is probably way more prevalent than cops filming it.
Did Pete Hegseth make it so that you had to get your testosterone levels tested in order to be in the military? That's wild.
It's an important marker for health.
For women? Not really.
But women have testosterone. I bet there's a different metric for what's a healthy amount.
I know, that's my point.
There you go, lift the gender ban on serving in combat arms and just set it at a testosterone level.
I don't think Pete Hegseth is a fan of women serving in the military. What's up with the Department of War?
Make sure you're correct.
What's the old name?
Department of War. It's weird that the dude who ran on Don't Do Wars renamed that department to the Department of War on his watch, and then started the war when I ran. That's odd. That's ironic.
You know what's odd is that we always referred to it as the War Department prior to changing to the Department of Defense. And even still would say Defense.
Well, just swallow first before you speak, right?
These wings are delicious.
Oh, I had burnt lamb. Hope you're happy.
You have burnt lamb?
Yeah, I bought a lamb thing, chopped, whatever, 2 of them, and I cooked it myself. I'm now cleaning up fucking grease everywhere, and I still can't get this fucking cooking down after all these years.
Why'd you burn it?
Why are you like I'm simply revealing you can't cook? It's like a weird. Like, do you want to learn, or you?
So I'm taking a cooking class. I actually signed up for the next one. They're like expensive, but it's at this kitchen supply place. They have this whole back thing. Lesour is the name of the store or whatever, and they're going to give cooking classes. I started a beginner one like a couple weeks.
But like,
Have you ever checked out
how to cook with it's like a weekend and the internet. Like, you don't need to, you don't need to take no expensive ass
I was
classes.
gonna say, if you follow Alton Brown, if you don't, you probably should. But he's put out a bunch of reels and a bunch of videos of like very basic, like home cooking basic stuff over the last few months, and most of it's all amazing, but really
Well,
simple.
like, to me, YouTube video tutorials are actually, because you can follow them step by step, and there's like a modeling element to it. I learn better that way. But like, anytime I want to learn how to cook something new or sophisticated, I literally find several YouTube videos, pick one that is like more or less easy to follow, and then just kind of watch it a couple times and follow the steps. You know what I mean? And that way you're not left hanging, because you have somebody kind of guiding you. And then once you do it a couple times, then you can kind of do it on your own. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Yes, I would assume I have. I do sit on here, but I'm actually doing like a multitude of other things. I multitask. You guys help keep my mind kind of on point, oddly enough. But like right now, I've cleaned my place. Let's see, what else tonight? Oh, I balanced Cigna's policies for the Southwest. I went through and audited 300,000 claims on line level, and and I cleaned 3 bathrooms in my house. So, and then I burnt a lamb steak thingy.
Did you cook it? You cooked it in a pan?
Yeah, well, I only have one pan. It's a Dutch, what do you call them? Cast iron skillet things.
Yeah, I know what a cast iron.
That's
You
good.
don't have like an oven,
Yeah, I have an oven, of course.
you know, you can put lamb in the oven and it cooks, right?
Yeah.
No, that's actually like really legitimate for cooking steak, especially if you have a thermometer.
Protein.
Go sear it off, and then
you can sear it,
and then,
oil
yeah,
it,
finish
you
it
can
off in the
bake
oven.
it, and you don't have to really deal with the oil as much. But pan fry is not a bad way to go. It's not like it's bad to pan fry. It's just it's a lot more variables you got to work with, especially with splatter.
You gotta be watching it and flipping it at the
Yeah.
pan fry.
Yeah, I learned that too late. Where were you guys like an hour ago?
Well, you should have asked us about fucking cooking some steak. Gosh.
Just you
You know what's funny, Brad? Because you're kind of like a handyman, like, and you know how to do a lot of shit I don't know how to do. But literally, bro, if you spent like one evening and I was like showing you how to cook shit, I can show you in a way where you would be able to replicate it from from then on. Like it's not that difficult.
Now wait, Brad, were you cooking on like high or full bore gas, or were you on like medium?
Well, lamb
You
is
should, unless you're boiling water, you really shouldn't be cooking steaks or anything on fucking high.
but you know, from what I remember, lamb is just notoriously difficult to cook. I mean, if you overcook it,
You're
it
fucked.
becomes like a rubber. If you undercook it, it has this like goaty taste to it, like very gamey.
I had it between medium and high.
Yeah, you just gotta watch it. There's a lot of techniques. Even when you pan fry, like you can, especially if you do a steak. Like when I do a pan fry steak, bro, you wanna do like a base, like you put butter, garlic, and like rosemary. There's some other stuff you can put in there, and whatever your preferred like spices are. And you literally like tilt the pan, and you have like a spoon, and you keep spooning the butter onto the
Basic.
and you.
But don't
and you
let
keep
the
doing
butter
that because
burn.
the hot butter actually cooks the steak. It's in it like the flavor profile of that shit is wild. Like
It's like deep frying, but you want to put a little rosemary.
no, it's not.
or
No,
some
it's not
thyme.
like deep frying. It's not like deep frying. Because deep
Well,
frying, you
it's
have to
shallow frying.
saturate it in oil, in so much oil that it actually like, and then it has to be super hot too. It's actually in many ways not like deep frying.
It's
pan
shallow
frying.
frying.
It's really a sear. It's not a fry. It's a sear. But you can technically call it frying because some of those same processes in frying do occur in the pan. But it's just. But anyway, like that's one technique. But you
I'm
can
talking
do
about
pan fry
coating
where
the-
you just cook one
coating
side
the-
and flip, and then if you really want to get fancy, you can turn it on the sides and stuff like that because you want to render that fat because that's what the
Yes.
fucking flavor is.
But the thing with pan frying is that if your cut isn't thick enough, you're going to have to pull it before you develop a really good sear because you're going to overcook the inside trying to go for that sear. So you have to kind of give up on it when pan frying unless you have like enough, unless you're over like an inch and a half. You
Well,
really
that's why you
it's
turn
really
it
difficult to
down and
develop
finish
that
it off. That's why you turn it down and
Yes.
finish it off. You simmer it, or you can finish it off in the oven, and that way you can control like the texture and everything like that, the internal temperature like that. The sear is to lock it. It's really for the outside flavoring and to lock in the juices. That's really juicy.
Yeah, I would say that if you can keep the steak moist, give it kind of like a little bit of wine bath, coat it in oil, put it in the oven, get it up to temperature, and then sear it off, reverse sear in a hot pan. That would be better than just trying to.
So I
Sear
tried
it off.
The wine is flavoring it.
I tried one of those, like, you know, like on my Instagram thing, they pop up this, like, there's this guy or a group of guys, they cook by rivers, and they cook on stone things, and I'm okay with a campfire. Like, I can cook over a campfire, and that's pretty easy to do. But,
Talking about the guy from Kazakhstan.
I have no idea where he's from. There's a couple of them.
That's your cooking?
He just washes off a rock, and he, like,
But
chops.
honestly, Brad, I think it's because you just understand the kind of, and I'm going to use a fancy word, the gastronomic principles as they apply to campfires, but not as much as they apply to like stovetops.
You are absolutely 100%. Or ovens.
Do you own a grill?
Yeah. I have one of those charcoal ones, and then I have the big solo stove cooking kit, and then I have what they call a cowboy pendulum that you can, basically hang
Oh, those are fucking amazing, bro.
they're easy to make, there's a kit you can literally, I was really pissed after I bought mine from Tractor Supply. You can just go on Amazon, and all you need to do is go out and get 3 wooden poles and hang them out there, and just get them at like 8 feet. You can cut off treetops or whatever, parse that out, shim them down, put it through this little tripod, and it'll hang for you.
Oh, you will get a.
So when you use the Weber kettle, do you ever pile all the coals on one side
No.
and leave something in there?
No, I actually prefer
Okay,
I prefer cooking over the campfire. I rarely use those. It's on. It's at first it's time. It's just me. The girls don't live here anymore, so like that's kind of a bummer because they did most of the cooking, and then their mother was always the one that did the cooking. And then for me, I'm usually just so busy that I just like it's got to be fast. Or if I'm sitting out by a fire, I'm relaxing tonight. I've got a bottle of bourbon. I'm gonna drink a couple of glasses. I'm gonna eat a steak or a fish I caught or some animal I shot, and then we're gonna pretty much have a good time.
So you can toss one of those coals from the fire underneath a chimney and get some charcoal going rather quickly. I recommend using lighter fluids to speed it up, but you get a lot out of the circulation and indirect cooking you can do in a kettle, and that's just not something you can do in front of a fire. You're either on the fire or you're away from it.
I've already used lighter fluid to heat. You can start any kind of fire. There's a trick I learned when I did. You grab one of those old Altoid tins. You take a nail and you hammer a hole in the top of it. You cut up strips of your old white T-shirt. It's just got to be cotton. You cut it up, put it in there, put the can in the fire. That smoke will go out, and as soon as it cools down, pull it out. All that T-shirt material in there will become instantly. As soon as the spark touches it, it'll burst up in flames and burn for like 5 minutes. And that shit's like easy to do.
So one of my clients, he just recently got this fucking amazing Lynx professional grill, 42-inch. I was talking to him. I was like, it gets up to like 1,000, I think.
That's
I have a
insane.
sear burner.
That's fucking insane. That's hot as shit.
I've used one of those. It's amazing. Infrared sear burner.
Yes, that's the one.
Oh, okay.
And
Yes.
it's all infrared burner. So
All
everything.
infrared. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he can do like rotisserie or whatever he wants. No, I was talking to him and he introduced me to the term Pittsburgh. What is it called? Like a Pittsburgh crust or something along those lines. But there's a cool story about it. The reason why they call it Pittsburgh is because of the steel industry in Pittsburgh. So the guys who worked on those plants, they would just throw stakes on top of the mold,
No
melted.
fucking way. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Cowboy
You know how
ribeye.
hot that shit is, bro.
Like 12.50 sometimes.
That's
900.
They just cook
No, so
steaks in
I
them
cook
bitches.
I cook skirt steaks directly on the coals,
But-
and if you go because skirt steak has a little more fat than normal, I would go exactly 70 seconds per side, then 10 minutes in aluminum foil. That is the best skirt steak you've ever had in your life. Cut it against the grain when you finish.
But when he told me about that, I was like, this must be like an old white steel. Like, if you throw anything on this melted steel, it's just like burned instantaneously.
So what happens? What happens is, at least with the charcoal, right? Less so with this, but you're kind of creating it. Is that the crust and the burnt charcoal that you're kind of making, they melt into each other and it becomes almost like a part of the crust. It's a part of the crust. Especially the ash of the coals. You let the coals turn white and get it done.
Uh-huh.
Now that sear burner goes 1250, 1500 degrees. I do picanhas on those because my building has built-in burners on their gas grills, so I can just turn that thing on and I lock in the fat caps, and then I kind of let them sit around the infrared burner and don't even mess with the rest of the grill, and rotate them for a few minutes afterwards, and they're perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, but I love cooking picanhas, so I got pretty good at it and decided to make it a science. A lot of people don't cook them properly because they don't trim the fat, and they also don't know what part of the actual cut is the picanha, because when you get a top sirloin cap or rump cap from the grocery store, they don't send you just the picanha. They give you extra meat, and so you have to know what you're cutting to really get the most out of that cut.
Yeah, I fuck with picanhas because I like Brazilian steak places. I actually discovered, like I had eaten that part of the cow before, but it became like a distinct thing when I started going to the Brazilian steakhouse. And they bring them around, they cut little pieces off and shit. I'm like, oh, they call them picanhas, huh? Okay.
Jason, have you noticed how they bring you the shitty stuff first to get you off?
Oh yeah. No, thank you.
Well, to be fair, I actually think that they bring you the cheaper steaks first because they have more of them to bring around. But all Brazilian steakhouses aren't equal. But yeah, I've noticed that. But you can just pass
Fogo
them.
is the best one.
Well, Fogo's commercialized. Fogo's actually not the best one. There are way better Brazilian steakhouses than Fogo.
Of the Brazilian steakhouses you're gonna find at the mall, the Fogo quality of meat and salad bar are by far the best. But yeah, it's not a mom and pop Brazilian
Yeah, I mean,
steakhouse.
Fogos are good. They're actually pretty high end for what they are. Like, I like them. I've just been to ones that are better. Like, I went to one in Oakland that was way better than Fogos. I forgot what it was fucking called. I gotta fucking figure out what the fuck that shit was called. It was amazing. Oh my god, it was good.
One of the best ones I ever ate at was actually up in Washington.
I feel like the ones in Brazil are fucking the shit though. Like the actual authentic ones.
Well, yeah, but you also have a different quality of cattle. They're using fresh rock salt. That makes the salt flavor makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also like Argentinian Brazilian cattle is far superior to American cattle. Like your average American cattle.
Well, some of the good. I keep cutting you off, Jim. I'm sorry. This is the last one. Some of the best ones actually import Brazilian cattle meat, which is really fucking authentic.
What's
No, that's sorry.
just really quickly, another thing I remembered, we used to go to Boca de Chao in Houston. It was fucking amazing. Like I'm in love with that restaurant. But what they also, like the first time we went there, I didn't realize they charge you for water. You know, like how they bring you water. It's like, oh, would you like some water? Like,
Saratoga, motherfucker.
Yes, it's like, oh, nice sparkling water. How nice of you. You know,
They
like-
charge you for that? That's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
outrageous.
It's like $7 a bottle, bro.
Exactly. So we kept like we were like celebrating. Like a buddy of ours had like a big job. We were, took him out and we were like, oh, it's cool. Like even back in the day, it was like $80 a plate, which was like a lot at the time. And we finished our meal. And they brought this water. It's like, oh, would you like some water? I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like they keep filling it with sparkling water. And then we get the bill, and I think we're like all big boys. So each one of us, like besides getting his share, had to pay like $120 because just the water was like $40 per person. It's fucking insane.
That's a big baller with the waters. I swear.
Yes.
So my record at Mr. Chow was $280 of water.
Oh god. No, but it's like, those fucking amateurs, they have no idea what they're doing. Like, let's give them some water.
That's crazy. I would never pay that much money for water. So it was sparkling. It wasn't regular water.
Yeah, but usually in the restaurants of that like statute and that level, like there's certain things that come complimentary, like you would get fucking sparkling water complimentary.
Yeah.
But no, they squeeze you like a lemon.
Not in Miami. Shit.
That's not
But even still, like when they offer you still or sparkling, you're gonna get charged and you're gonna get served bottled artisanal water. And if you want tap water, you have to specifically say, "I would like tap water."
Oh, fuck.
And they're gonna judge the shit out of you.
Does Fogo give you cheese balls complimentary?
Yes.
Okay, because
How
I
the
ate a
cage you?
shit ton of those last time I went.
That's not.
God damn, it's a lot of cheese.
Well, Fogo does they do the yuca, or like it's not yuca, it's tapioca, the tapioca fries, and the fried bananas and the powdered Cajun complimentary.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, that,
You can get some pretty good cheese bread, like doughs that you can just pop in the oven at home. Legit.
I think I fucked up because I ate a crap ton of those and it like filled me up, so I couldn't eat as much meat, which annoyed the out of me. And I think that's the purpose of them.
Also when it reminded me when I was in undergrad, we had this Indian restaurant, and at the time, like we didn't know any fucking better. We would go there for buffet on Saturday, and we would just gorge. And we had like a house with like 5 guys, and we would just gorge, and just put them out of business. And whoever ate the most would not have to pay for their bill, and we just kind of measured in plates. And usually, it would be even amount of plates for everybody. So the tiebreaker was those like deep fried, what is it called? Sugar bowls. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a dessert type of thing.
Like sugar balls.
It's like deep fried. It's like deep fried, like it's dough balls, but they like deep fried with sugar.
Like donut balls?
Huh?
Like donut holes?
Sort of like that, but like the Indian version of it, when they like deep fry them and there's like a syrup, like a syrup on top of it. So we would get like a pile of them, and we would just go around the table one by one until like people would just give up. The last person standing would get his bill picked up by everybody else.
Have either of you guys ever had Mr. Chow chicken satay?
No, I haven't.
No.
Okay, it is insane. First of all, it's like $20 a skewer, which is insane. However, it's worth it because their chicken satay is fried. Then they apply the curry sauce, which is amazing. And then they cover it in like this sweetened condensed milk-based glaze. So it's a appetizer, entree, dessert, all in fucking one.
Efficient.
It's phenomenal. I think the last time I was there, I had like 8 of them, which is just insane. And they're not small. They also have the least fried rice you've ever seen. It's almost imperceptible that it's fried. However, it is amazing, and I don't know why, but for some reason edamame works in it. But it's the weirdest thing. It goes with the meal phenomenally. It's just not what the fuck you're expecting when you order a side of fried rice.
I went through a phase, and now I'm on YouTube looking for it again, where I used to watch random, like, people online cooking street food. And I just could not get enough of just watching these random, it literally would be random motherfuckers from somewhere in Asia cooking the shit out of something. I don't even know what it is, so I'm just
check out Anticuchos in Peru. The best fucking street
something
food.
about it being random and like out of like decontextualized, where I have to figure out what the fuck I'm watching makes it more appealing. I don't know why. Like I'm watching these people they're like mass producing things, and they're just kind of like cooking it in the same way every time, and they're making it, and then they're just giving it to people on the street. Like, there you go, it is.
Or like you've seen those Turkish like ice cream makers with the like frozen plate. They pour out the cream, start adding shit.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I haven't wanted to try
I've
that.
seen
But
that
dude,
before. I've seen, bro, I've seen hella shit, but I don't even know what the fuck it was, so it's hard for me to like recount it, but, but like, one time I saw these motherfuckers, I think they were making, what the fuck is that shit called? It's like really doughy, I think it's from Japan. It's like this dessert ball thingies, and you have to like.
Oh, is it like what is it called? Like nologi or something like that, or no?
Something like that. Fuck, I forget. But they have them in Hawaii too, because it's from Japan. It's really good. But anyway, I was watching them make it old school, and they were beating the shit out of this dough, bro. Like with like these hammer things. And there was 3 of them, and the timing and choreography.
oh
was
yeah, I've
perfect.
seen that. Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, they are really going to town on this shit. Like, and they made like an industrial size amount.
It's like this. It's like
mochi.
taffy like consistency.
Mochi, yeah, that's what it is.
That's the one. Okay,
They're
no, I
making
know.
mochi, but like old school mochi. Like these motherfuckers had hammers and like a stone bowl. And I was just like, wow, they are going to town on that shit. I never seen mochi made before, so it was kind of like fascinating.
You know,
Right now, I'm watching this dude he's literally cracking eggs with one hand on this big ass fucking griddle, and he's making Japanese style egg bacon pancakes on the street.
do you ever watch this? He's like a younger chef who has like a very like hip YouTube channel where he like does different things like with different foods. Like he did like one episode on chocolate, doing different types of chocolate, and like watermelon. He did like a watermelon steak and stuff.
No,
I'll send it to you. My son is really into him. Like he really loves watching it. It's kind of cool because he also like travels the world and like introduces you to different types of food. And so in Japan, he went to the the legendary fish market. They let him in, and he was like a special guest and stuff. And they showed like how they cut tuna, like the best. Some of those cuts are like $5 million just for the one cut. It's insane.
Oh yeah,
that's
bluefin.
insane.
Yeah, it's
Oh, the otoro.
obscene.
Because it's only the fatty section. No, it's kind of like the wagyu of.
Yeah, but like they pick apparently. So there's like one winner. So they go through the whole market, like all the fish that gets to the market. They pick like one, and that tuna is the winner, and that tuna gets sold for I don't know, like an obscene amount of money, and then they do cuts out of it. And each cut has like a different level of importance and monetary worth, and they let him try like the most expensive part of the tuna. It was incredible. It was really cool. I think we could kick out of it.
These motherfuckers are making a lot of whatever the fuck this is.
Oh yeah.
Say, bro.
Well, it's also like they auction those fish. So like in the each fish has like a place, like first place, second place, third place, and the restaurants like pride themselves that they got we got the 5th best tuna of the day. And they can also charge like crazy amount of money per each. That's sushi that they
I guess it's not even just that the food looks good or whatever, because actually what I'm watching right now, I don't know what the fuck this is, so it doesn't really look good because I don't know what it is, but it's the process. I'm fucking fascinated by them, dude, watching these motherfuckers.
like the artistry.
Not so much artistry, because they're not really making it look fancy. They're just literally industrialized. Like they're just making it over and over and over again. like like think of the mundane, the mundane. What is it? Mundanity, mundanity. I don't know how to say it. The mundaneness of like watching people make burgers at McDonald's all day. They're just doing the same shit over and over and over again.
I think it would be
for some reason, because I don't know what it is. It makes it more intriguing.
mundanity.
I think it's mundane. I think there is a word. I just don't know what it is. So I just said mundaneness. Oh shit! What happened to this?
Mundaneness is a word. I don't know if it's a Scrabble, but it is a word.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident about it.
Mundanity is also a word.
Yeah, I just didn't know how to say it, so I was like, fuck it. It's mundaneness. Oh, these motherfuckers are deep frying whole chickens. That's wild. How you deep fry a whole chicken, bro?
Oh, dude, the wilderness. I think the channel's Wilderness Cooking. It's an Azerbaijani dude who does. He makes his own damn near everything. He's like built his kitchen. He's done like earthen ovens. He's like buried chickens in the ground and smoldering fires to roast them. He's done like whole sides of a cow all at once. It's pretty insane. But he does wild shit with chicken.
I saw some dude cook a whole ass ostrich. That shit was wild. It was a whole fucking ostrich. He cooked that shit whole, fam. I was like, what the fuck?
The other thing that's huge is the pachamanca, which is the earthen like feast that the Incans would do in Peru, where they'll bury tamales, chickens, different types of beef, sausages they make, all the veggies, sweet potatoes, everything. They'll bury it up on a fire and bury it in clay. And come like dig it out like 8 hours later. Then you ever seen Genghis Khan's favorite steak recipe?
No, not that at all.
So it was a layered pot. It was a big, wide, like not a wok, but maybe 2.5, 3 feet in diameter pan, layered with cleaned river rocks, slices of beef, or horse, or I guess whatever the hell they had on hand, and onions and spices, and then another layer of river rocks, and then onions and spices, etc. Like on and on and on. So it's the meat, these onions and spices, and then more smooth river rocks. And what would happen is you would then fill it with water, you'd set it on the fire, and the meat would boil. And as the water evaporated, the meat would actually start to sear on the rocks. So it was kind of like a sous vide cooking method for meat, only it's directly touching water. Then as it boils off, you get the meat starting to sear on the rocks, and so you finish it, you take it off, pull the rocks out, and you have all this seared thin sliced beef and all the spices and everything left in the pan. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Whew, man, the shit that I find entertaining these days, it's crazy.
Have you seen this recent batch of protests in Madison?
No.
I think one, it's interesting it's happening in a swing state. Two, I think I think this protest is looking. It's trying to capture that energy that we had in 2020. I don't think it has it because I don't think like the underlying grievance is that bad. But it is I guess it's an area of activism that hasn't been as active lately as it was in recent history. So it's interesting that it's choosing to come back. It's a weird set of facts that surrounding the specific case, but just overall, to be doing this or showing support for this in a swing state in your bluest city, it seems like poor battle choosing on their part. I don't know if there's necessarily intention behind that, or if they're up in their feelings and so they're doing shit despite the way it looks bad. But did you see the guy who took over the press conference and because the police chief?
I'm completely.
Police chief just let him
talking about. To be honest with you, I might hear about it. Usually, for some reason, when I hear about shit for the first time, within a few days, I will hear about it again and again. So I probably will hear about it again.
It happened a couple weeks ago. The recent story is all about them kind of dismantling the chop zone that they had set up in the city. But shortly after the incident occurred, the police chief allowed a protester with a megaphone to come up and have the microphone as long as he wanted. And the guy went on a deranged rant that is pretty epic, actually. It was. I was initially, very upset that he allowed him to do this, but after letting him speak, I think the chief is a fucking genius because he made an ass of himself on national TV, and that was pretty much the end of disruptions for news conferences. So the problem was they then went and set up a damn chop zone in Madison, in this intersection where the shooting happened.
Okay. I'm gonna watch somebody make egg bomb shrimp fried rice for no reason.
Uncle Roger approve?
I guess part of why I'm enthralled by this is because these motherfuckers are cooking all of this shit on a big ass grill. They're not really spatulas. Oh, they put this shit on like bamboo leaf? What the fuck? That shit is authentic. Yeah, I'm just gonna be preoccupied by this for a few hours till I fall asleep. What's up with leaving the skin on the shrimp, bro? Why would you do that? No. That ruined it for me now. I don't want to watch this shit. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna close up this room because ain't nothing happening anyway. I'm finna fall asleep. I will holler at y'all.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Have a great rest of your night and tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.